Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing?
Good evening, Doc.
Good evening,
All
Doc.
right, Dr. Adu, I'm doing
Good
good.
evening.
Good
Good.
evening,
Morning,
Doctor. We're
Doc.
doing great.
Good
Happy
evening.
Friday.
Happy Friday. And it's morning for some folks like Jason in Japan and others. But wherever you might be joining us from, it's midnight for others. But it's evening, New York time, 7:09. And we are about to start here shortly. I appreciate everybody's time. So we have a very interesting topic tonight, and this is something that should be near and dear to everybody's heart. If you're a cybersecurity professional or cybersecurity aspiring cybersecurity professional, because it has to do with money, right? All right. So you are welcome. I think we are all set, transmitting on YouTube live, and we are going to kick it off here. So you are welcome. This is Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we invite you to join us every night, every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And like I always say, you could have been anywhere else on a Friday night, but you choose to be here to share, learn cybersecurity, to share that cybersecurity knowledge, and also to grow professionally together as cybersecurity professionals and aspiring cybersecurity professionals, right? And we really much appreciate it. For everybody joining, you can put in the chat Team Live, take hashtag Team Live and take a screenshot of that. You can use that to renew your any certification that is coming up for renewal. And tonight's topic, we are going to be looking at cybersecurity salaries in the United States. And there is a whole, lot of different twists to this. And we are going to look at all aspects of salaries, how to bargain for a good salary, and what to expect, right, when you are getting into a cybersecurity role, or if you're already in a role and you're looking for a second role, right? This is brought to you by Eretmis Academy. Eretmis Academy is a cybersecurity institute based in New York, and we teach all variety of cybersecurity courses. And I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu. I'm going to be a facilitator for tonight. I don't have any co-pilot for tonight. It's just going to be me, one pilot, moving everything forward. I'm a former United States Army captain. I'm the CEO of Eretmis Inc., a cybersecurity consulting firm, a QSA company based in New York. And also, I'm a QSA myself, cybersecurity professional, cybersecurity consultant, anything and everything cybersecurity. You can count me in. And I also love to spread and share the knowledge when it comes to cybersecurity. I'm a former professor of University of Maryland Global Campus and also CTC. And I think I've not mentioned this for a while, but I've been a member of the Forbes Technology Council for a little bit. Now, I think over a year and a half now, right? So, and also the founder of Eretmis Academy. So that is just a little bit about myself. Now, for Eretmis Academy, we are authorized partners with CompTIA, and what that means is that we have a 20% discount on all CompTIA vouchers, and we push that down to all our family members in the Eretmis community. So, if you are looking to sit for any CompTIA security, any CompTIA certification, you can reach out to us, and we purchase the voucher on your behalf. So we don't have the coupons that we give you. We purchase the voucher on your behalf through our CompTIA portal. That is how we get a 20%. So you just send us the money minus the 20%, and we purchase it on your behalf and we send you the voucher. So that is how it works. Sometimes folks will reach out and they think we have a coupon that they can use. We really don't have the coupon. The coupon is in our portal. So that is how CompTIA has set it up, right? So for continuous education, for joining webinars like this one, Friday nights, and others from other institutions, you'll be able to use it to help recertify if you are coming up to for your certificate renewal, right? You can use webinars like this. So like I said, if you put Team Live in the chat, you can take a screenshot of that and you can use that for your renewal. Now we have a WhatsApp group in the Eretmis family. It is full. We've maxed out. We're probably looking to set up a new group or get on a different platform that can, host more. We have a lot of folks reaching out that they want to be part of the WhatsApp group. But unfortunately, it's full now, and you can still try to join. If somebody leaves, then we will add you to the group. And we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Everything that we are doing for Cyber Chats, it is posted on YouTube. So you'll be able to have access to it, right? And we appreciate everybody's support on our YouTube channel. And for tonight, we will be looking at cyber news, and we will be discussing cybersecurity salaries in the United States. And for folks outside the United States, you can use the same resources that we are looking at from wherever you are, and you can use that to also do some analysis when it comes to salaries within your jurisdiction. So for cyber news, we are going to throw it to the family. If you have any cyber news, you can raise your virtual hand. But I have a couple from our WhatsApp group, right? Our community members, they do well, and they post most of these cyber news around the world and in the United States on there. There's one that caught my eye. It says a North Carolina musician charged with music streaming fraud aided by AI. Right. For those on the group, I think you probably saw this. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So apparently, there is a guy called Michael Smith. He allegedly produced hundreds of thousands of songs using AI, and he utilized automatic features to repeatedly stream the music himself using, I think, maybe different devices or using with the aid of AI. And when the number of streams will determine how much money you get for your song. So he was streaming this using AI to stream this music that he produced with AI. And he generated almost $10 million doing this. And that was pretty smart, but I think that was really thinking outside the box, but I think that is just cheating the system, right? So he's been arraigned, and this is the first AI case. I think is the first fraud case, with AI. And if there are any similar interesting cyber news like that out there, you can kindly raise your virtual hand and bring it up. But this was an interesting one that I picked from the group, the Eretmis group. I think it was posted by who? I'm not sure. Posted by Leonard. So yes, this was an interesting one. And there are a couple of other ones. I think one by Alex that was posted this is by the Cybersecurity National Director, still pushing the agenda for more cybersecurity professionals on the government side, and other cyber news out there. And Eric does post a lot for cyber news on there. So hackers demand $6 million for files stolen from Sea Airport in an attack. So if you're part of the Eretmis Cybersecurity WhatsApp group, you'll be able to have access to most of these cyber news that is trending out there. So that will be our cyber news. Jamal, please go ahead and we will move on. Yes, kindly go ahead. Oh, you are muted if you're trying to speak. All right, so whilst Jamal is trying to fix his mic, we are going to move on into cybersecurity salaries in the United States, which is going to be pretty fun, right? So for salaries, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why
Okay.
I lost you on Zoom and then I had to reconnect. Yeah, I just wanted to point out there's another Michael excelling.
Oh, okay.
We have a lot of Michaels that are doing well in cybersecurity, so I said that's another Michael.
That's another Michael.
Right.
Yes. True. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. So for our topic tonight, the cybersecurity salaries, we have a bunch of family members, Eretmis community members who are in the industry working, and we'll pick their brain on how they negotiated for the salaries that they have now, right? And if when they did start working, how do they say it? Did they kind of, bargained a bit lower based on the magnitude of work they are doing, or they think it balanced out what they are doing and the money balances out, right? So we'll pick maybe a few pointers here and there as we are going through, but we are going to start off with a brief history about cybersecurity salaries and cybersecurity roles, jobs and the salaries. So for cybersecurity, it's been a field, or information security, it's been a field that has evolved over time from IT in general. It gradually, formed and became an area on its own, right? So back in the days, we are going to look at some timelines. Uh, folks, there was no one cybersecurity role, right? You are probably maybe a software engineer and you are doing something else to help protect. You are, a network engineer and you are still playing within the security space. So you had different roles, but you still had some obligations on the security side, right? So you are not paid extra for what you are doing in security. But with the rise of hackers and more cyber criminals now and all these high level breaches, the need, there was the need for dedicated professionals, IT professionals who are just going to focus on the security of our systems and our data. So cybersecurity obviously has evolved significantly over time. And cybersecurity professionals, are also gradually growing, and there are different and many aspects of cybersecurity, right? So, like I always say, cybersecurity is broad, but it's small at the same time, right? Cybersecurity is broad, and how broad is it? So, just like how you have, let's do a very quick analysis here. So, when it comes to the car industry, there are so many different brands. Look at that as cybersecurity, right? So many different areas. So, you have Mercedes Benz, Land Rover, uh, Lamborghini, right? And those folks. So there are a lot of different cars, different models, different brands, Hyundai, Honda, right? But so it's very broad, but it's still small at the same time. Why is it small? When it comes to driving, the principles or the principle of driving is the same across board, right? So although Mercedes has its uniqueness, Land Rover has its uniqueness, but how to operate the system is almost the same, right? So you just need some orientation per each car or per each brand, but the actual moving of the car and operation is almost the same across board. So that is what makes it small, and the different variety is what makes it big, right? So same thing applies here. In the security space, it's broad and it's small. You have to be able to polish yourself on the underlying factor that is how to drive, right? If you know how to drive with some little orientation, you can drive different uh, brands or different. So what I'm trying to say here is if you know how to drive, which is if you know how security works, you'll be able to function in different roles with just some little or slight uh, help or slight orientation, right? You should be good to go. Now, we are going to move on and look at some timelines. So in the early 90s to 90s to early 2000s, there were IT generalists who were dabbling in cybersecurity stuff, so handling network security stuff and other broader IT responsibilities. So salary was modest. It was limited to the scope and demand. In 2000 and up to 2010, that space, there were a lot of growth in terms of technology. The internet was growing, it became bigger and bigger. E-commerce became bigger and bigger, right? Transactions online, buying stuff using your credit card, debit card, also became bigger and bigger. And meaning attackers were also growing and becoming smarter and smarter in that space. So there was a lot of cyber attacks more than in the 90s, in the 90s and early 2000s, right? So obviously there was a lot of cyber attacks in this space than in that space, and that obviously will call for the industry, academia, government side, and the corporate side to look into, hey, how are we going to solve this? So that was how and where the demand for security professionals started rising, right? So they needed specialized cybersecurity professionals to be able to handle these prolific attacks that were going on all over different industries, right? So job roles, now they started coming up with different, job roles for security professionals. So security engineers, pen testers, security analysts, and the rest, started coming onto the forefront of the security career space, right? And salaries started increasing because there were limited supply of cybersecurity professionals, right? Now, what happened was that traditionally, for any industry or within the world, right, if there is a need for specific talent, everybody tends to look at academia, right, for help. So, hey, we need more managers, we need more leaders, we need more of these type of talent. Now, when in the 2000s, or let's say in the 1990s to 2000s, colleges were focused on just general IT, computer science, and others. They were not specifically, courses for cybersecurity or information security, right? That was just an added on something to your general course, software engineer, and other stuff that you're doing. So when this time happened, and attackers were all over the place, attacking companies all over the place, and companies were turning to academia. Hey, we need help. We need, produce. How many of these security professionals have you produced? The traditional schools and colleges were scratching their heads like, we can give you a software engineer, or if that doesn't work, we can give you something, right? Like we can give you like a computer science, somebody with a computer science degree. We can give you somebody, but whilst those folks, they knew some aspect of security, there was no one person, or there was no pool of talent that were specifically trained, like security trained, and their focus was just on security, right? So that is the reason why there is this big gap for security professionals. And that has led all the way up to today, where the demand for security professionals is still very high. And that is why now you can be from any field with some training, you can easily leverage yourself and get into cybersecurity. So that is the genesis of that problem. And the problem is still ongoing because the demand is high and the supply is low. Now, schools, if you want to research, colleges didn't start offering degrees in cybersecurity until like 7, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Not even, I don't think even 8 years. They just recently started cybersecurity degrees and cybersecurity, majors, right? Before then, it was just the traditional computer science and other aspects of IT. So now the industry is still open. If you are looking to get into cybersecurity, you don't need to have necessarily IT or cybersecurity background to be able to get in. Reason being that we need people. It's just like if there's, like your country goes to war. So right now in Ukraine and Russia, right, they are all desperate for soldiers. So with even 2 weeks of training, they're probably going to put you in the forefront. You are a full qualified soldier, right? Like they are just going to pick anybody and anybody because we are desperate for people, right? Now, that doesn't also mean for companies who are hiring now, they are not looking to test to make sure that you are well qualified before they put you on their production line, right? So we have to balance that out. The reason why they need people, that doesn't mean they will just take anybody also as well, right? So salaries have obviously increased because of the demand and because of the little pool of talent that we have in the security space, right? So for now, we have 2010 to present, the rise of sophisticated cyber attacks, ransomware attacks, and others have obviously also pushed the demand for security professionals, right, to a whole different level. So, and also for regulatory compliance like PCI, HIPAA, GDPR, and others has also pushed that limit even further, right? So for roles like security architects, cybersecurity analysts, risk analysts, ethical hackers, and others, all these roles, there are new roles that are coming up. But traditionally, we have the blue team and the red team, right? And everything in there. And now they've coming up with purple teams and all that. But traditionally, there is the offensive and defensive side of security. And that is where, all the job titles, we can list them under, right? So salaries have obviously, been pushed to different heights. And then also because there is this struggle between the corporate side and the government side, right? There is this little pool or not that much cybersecurity professionals around to move around. The government needs them. The corporate side also needs them. So that even makes that, pool on the little resource of talent even higher. And that is good for security professionals because then it means the salary is going to go up, right? And recently, we've seen the push for more cybersecurity professionals from the National Cybersecurity Director, pushing that agenda to get more cybersecurity professionals on the government side. Now, there is a research that shows that the surge in demand for security professionals is going to continue through 2025, right? Now, we are going to look at demand and supply of cybersecurity professionals, and then we will look at salaries, right? So let's jump in. So demand and supply is what in every industry, demand and supply of professionals within that industry is what is going to really let us know how much, or that is what dictates the salary for that group of professionals, right? Now, when it comes to these numbers, salaries and others, we don't have to guess. The research and the data is there already. We have to use facts, right? Dr. Edu likes going straight directly to the source. So using facts. Now, cybersec.org is one of the cybersecurity resources that is being managed by Department of Commerce. Is all the way under Department of Commerce. They are the ones who are helping they have this resource that helps to identify cybersecurity professionals in terms of that helps to identify the demand for security professionals in real time. So they give the statistics for salary, for job openings and all that. We are going to look at the sites in real time. I think we've looked at it a couple of times on Cyber Chat. We will look at it again. So they have this little screenshot for, like to get a screenshot, kind of like the SIM tool version of the cybersecurity profession. So on here we have employer demand for cybersecurity professionals. So we can see that employer demand is high, the supply is low, right? And when this screenshot was taken, there was 660,000 cybersecurity job openings in the United States. And we also have what we call the index. Kindly mute yourself. I keep muting, and Adebola, you keep on muting yourself. So, now let's look at, okay, so on here also, it shows the growth, the projected growth of cybersecurity in the next, I think they do up to like 2035. And then also how fast cybersecurity is growing in terms of career progression. So they said 21%, no, 30% growth from year to year. I think for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they put it at 32%. We are going to look at that also as well, right? But also one key part of this that we have to take away is that cybersecurity roles, it takes 21% longer to fill cybersecurity roles than any other IT role, So other IT roles might be filled faster, but cybersecurity takes 21% longer because for cybersecurity roles, you probably will go through at least like 3 interviews, sometimes even 4, right? Because they want to make sure you have what it takes to be able to help protect their assets. So with that, we are going to move into the demand and supply. So we will go to the actual website to look at this in real time. But for the demand and supply, the national average for cybersecurity is 85%, meaning that for all the cybersecurity jobs that are out there, the United States is only able to fill 85% of that. So the 25% of that is always unfilled. Right. So that is what this means. We are going to look at it in real time and see what exactly we are looking at. Now, for the supply and demand ratio is a comparison of the number of available cybersecurity workers relative to employers' demand for cybersecurity professionals within any specific location that we are looking at. Right. So we are also going to look at some statistics from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Right. Like I said, we don't have to guess. We have to base this on facts, right? So the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, projects that cybersecurity jobs will grow by 32%, but from 2022 to 2032, right? And this is equating 16,800 annual job openings in the cybersecurity space, right? Now, this growth is this projection per CyberSeek when the BLS came up with this. At that time, CyberSeek had 572 job openings for cybersecurity from September 2022 to August 2023. I think now the number is a little bit lower, but it keeps going back and forth. But it doesn't go below 400,000 cybersecurity job openings at any point in time, right? So that is a lot of job openings. Now, for industries that are the highest paying industries in the cybersecurity space, I mean, for cybersecurity professionals, if you're looking to get more money, some of the industries to look at, I mean, is the finance side, insurance, information, and then the last one is computer systems and design. Now, that doesn't mean other industries are not paying, but this is the highest paying, and this is based on statistics from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the United States, right? Now, the median salary for cybersecurity professionals by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is $122,000. So that is the median. This is 2.5 times higher than the median wage for all workers in the United States. So that that is some good numbers for cybersecurity. Now, factors that will affect your salary, how much you're going to get. Some of the factors we are going to look at that as a whole, but education, your experience, your certifications, and location, these are some of the factors that we are going to break down further and look at. Now, we're also going to go to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, look at their website in real time, and also to be able to see this in real time. So these are resources that you can use to do your own research when you are looking into cybersecurity salaries. So before we jump into what affects your salary and the salaries per role that we are going to look at, if you are looking to get into the cybersecurity space, the gateway for you to break into cybersecurity, working as a cybersecurity professional, is our cybersecurity entry-level course. This course will build you from scratch. You don't need an IT background, cybersecurity background. We will build you from where you are to, all the way intermediate level, where you will be able to work efficiently as a security professionals. And there are a lot of cybersecurity professionals on here who went through this. This also comes with internship, where you are going to be working on real-world security projects. And for folks already in the cybersecurity industry already, or with some IT background, if you are looking to specialize, we have PCI DSS training that you can also get into. Is the payment security and compliance. To be a payment security and compliance professional, Eretmis Inc. is a QSA company. We are in the payment security business. So whatever we are doing in real time is what we are teaching you in the school, right? So this you can also get into as well. Now, for folks with some IT, but with some cybersecurity training, probably you've done RMF, you've done some other training, you are lacking the real world cybersecurity hands-on experience. Maybe you have a degree in cybersecurity. Jump onto our cybersecurity GRC internship/workshop. This is where we bridge the gap between, knowledge and skill. So your experience in cybersecurity starts from here. Now, tomorrow we are starting our new cohort. So if you didn't join already, you still have time to jump on. And tomorrow is just going to be meet and greet. Next week is where we're going to start working on our project. So there is still time for you to hop on there if you are still, on the fence. And for our conference, we still encourage you to jump on there and register and show your intent. The numbers, we are not getting the numbers we are looking for, but this is going to be the last week for us to push to see if the numbers are going to get to where we need to be before we proceed, right? So with that out of the way, let's jump into the salaries. So there's some variations on the government side and on the corporate side when it comes to salaries. And on the government side, sometimes the salary might be a little bit low because on the government side, mostly they use their own ranking system to pay you. So let's say, for example, if you're in the military, you don't get paid by what you know. On the cybersecurity side, you get paid by your rank, right? So you can be the most high-speed cybersecurity professional who can do anything and everything. You still get paid by your rank, right? So, but then you can leave that, you can leave the military, get onto the corporate side, and you're getting paid almost 4 times what you're getting paid, right? Now, this is not only peculiar to the cybersecurity space. Even on the health side, people like professionals, if you are, let's say, a dentist, if you are a medical doctor, on the military side or on the government side, they give you bonuses to compensate for the pay because you still get paid by rank. But they give them some bonuses to make up. That way, they all don't leave and go to the corporate side. They still stay in the military and they stay in the government, right? So same thing here. But on the cybersecurity side, what the government has done is they've really increased salaries on the government side with bonuses and others, even though they still pay by rank, right? They've really pushed that. They try to match the corporate side. Other than that, there is not much talent to move around in the first place. So if you are going strictly by the government ranks, then the government is not going to get the best of talent, right? So for specialized roles in the government side, you can still also get paid a little bit more, right? So although the government side compensation might seem a little bit lower than on the private side, other benefits like health insurance, stability of work or stability of employment and all that also counts very well in this space as well. Now, like I said, government and corporate, they are all drawing from the same pool of cybersecurity professionals, right? So that makes the demand high on the little pool that we have. Now, on the corporate side, for big companies, big tech companies, they obviously pay more. The Microsofts, the Googles, the Amazons, they obviously pay more and they have stock options and others as well. Now, for the financial services, they also pay more. So banks and financial institutions, they also pay more because of the, most of the regulatory requirements that they are also encountering. And for startups, the money will not be as big as the big tech companies or the financial side. But then you get the opportunity to grow with them. And then also you get equity. Sometimes they give you equity also as well. So these are some of the things to look at and some of the variations in the government and the corporate side. Now, for salaries, for levels that you are within the security space, for entry level, and these are prosmate salaries. So these are guesstimations, and I'm going to give my take on this. So for entry-level positions, like maybe cybersecurity analyst junior pen tester, and others, risk analyst junior, those positions, we are looking at 90K to 120. right? Now, whether you get 90K or 120 depends on you. Now, you can even get higher. You can even go beyond 120, right? When it comes to the salaries, you have to know the average and you can bargain from there. We are going to look at some of the bargaining skills that can help you do this. So for entry level, you can start off. What I advise is entry level, you shouldn't go below 100K. Although here it says 92. This is statistically from, research that we've made. But what I can tell you for a fact is for Eretmis Academy as a school, the minimum salary that we've had for our entry-level course is 100K for our students. The maximum that we've had is 150. And these are folks who are starting off in the security space. Now, because of how our training is geared, right, and how our training is structured, by the time you are done with the internship, you are at intermediate level. You are an intermediate level cybersecurity professional, right? So we don't necessarily look at you as an entry level professional, right? Although the course's name is entry level, but it takes you from entry level all the way to intermediate level because the projects that you're going to work on, they are not entry level projects, right? Now for mid level, that is intermediate level, we are looking at 110 to 140. So if you are in a role, you're a cybersecurity manager in your company and you are collecting 60K or 70K, you have yourself to blame, right? Sometimes, some people think I'm just going to take 80K or 70K because I just want to get my foot in the door, right? That is not necessarily true. They have the budget, they have the money. If you take 60K, 70K, you just save them almost like 50K or 40K. Don't be desperate. They are employing you. They are not doing you a favor. They've seen something in you. They know you'll be able to help them, or you've convinced them enough that they know you are. And they didn't just interview just you. They interviewed a whole bunch of people. They selected you. So why are you selling yourself short because you are so desperate and you think you are not worthy enough? If you are not worthy enough, they are not going to pick you. Right. So that just have that the back of your mind. It's just mindset, right? Don't be in desperation. If they are moving you forward, they want to give you the role, then demand what you are worth, because you are going to quickly realize once you're in the role that, oh shoot, I really did myself a big disservice because the money that you're getting is nowhere near the job you are going to be doing, right? So if you are, you are desperate, just take 100K or 110. Nobody on here should take anything below 100K, right? If they give you 90K with some benefits and that will equate to 100K, that is fine. But anything below, I talked to one guy one time. He had CISSP and something else, and he was getting paid 60K for cybersecurity manager role. And I'm like, what were you smoking when they gave you this offer and you accepted? Oh, I just wanted to use that as a learning experience. I'm like, and how is that going for you? Right? That shouldn't be the case in any shape or form, right? So, we are giving you these numbers and we do this chat to educate you and to let you know the budget is there. The money is there to spend, right? So do not sell yourself short. It is HR's job to bargain and pay you as less as possible. It is also your job, and you have an obligation to yourself and your family to get as more money as possible, right? So make sure you are standing your ground. Now we are going to look into how to bargain. That way you are not also looking or sounding like a moron. If you are for an entry level position, you are asking for 250K. Then they also don't know what you are smoking. Nobody's going to pay you 250K for an entry level position, right? So you have to do your research, know the range, and then bargain within that range, right? Now for senior roles, 130 to 180 plus, and that is your senior architect, senior security analyst, senior, anything senior, right? Now, so for some senior roles, they might want to peg you at, and that is all depending on how you negotiate with them, right? 130 to 180 plus, it should be your range. Now, for executive positions like CISO, CSO, and others, 180, 400 plus. You know, some are taking as high as 800K a year, right? And to hold, the funny part about this is to hold a senior role, to hold an executive position, it doesn't mean they are more technical proficient than level or mid-level. When we even talk about technical proficiency, these people, entry-level position and mid-level, they are more technical, they are more technically proficient and folks here, right? Here is just leadership and managerial skills. You have to be able to demonstrate more leadership and managerial skills. So for folks who want to get into the cybersecurity side and they are thinking, you know, because they are coming from a different industry, they have to start off from the entry level. You are so wrong, right? You can jump straight into a senior role. You know why? Let me give you an example. So in your current job, if let's say you are a senior manager in whatever position, right? Let's say you work in Walmart, you are at the senior level, you are managing like 4 stores, 4 Walmart stores, and you want to get into cybersecurity. You think you cannot hold a senior level position with some cybersecurity knowledge and skill? You wouldn't be able to function in a senior role? If you say no, then it's just your mindset. Because for CISOs, right, or anybody in the C-suite, how can we move the CEO of Coca-Cola, right? How can we move, or how can the CEO of Coca-Cola change companies and go head Apple? What has soft drinks got to do with a technology company? But it happened. Do your research. CEOs, they can move them from mechanical industry to, or the auto industry to health industry. Why? Because they are doing the same thing. Industry matters, but it doesn't matter. The underlying factor is, as a CEO, what are you going to do? Your leadership. So if you're able to lead people, that is what matters. What they do in the industry, you can school yourself up on. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be people there that you're going to manage. Right. So it's your mindset and how you position yourself. So don't just be targeting entry level and mid level. If you have a whole catalog of corporate experience working at these top levels, you can also leverage yourself, get into an entry level course and the internship. Once you're done, if you are a senior, you are at the senior level in whatever position you are in your other field, we can package you to level yourself, to leverage yourself for these positions as well, right? So for executive positions, 80K, 180 to 400 plus is what we are looking at. Right. Now, we are also looking at, based on industry, we are saying that some industries, they pay more than other industries for security professionals. So per the Bureau of Labor Statistics, median salary, obviously, we looked at one, I think it was 122, but May 2023 for information security analyst, the median salary was 120, right? So we can take it that the average, or at least 100 and 110, you should get at least 110, 100 plus, should be enough if you're not very sure of yourself, right? Because this is the national median salary. Now, for industries, also according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, for industries, information, so for the information industry, 133 is the median salary. For finance and insurance, 126. For management of companies, 122, right? So these are some of and all these are facts from Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is not Dr. Edu's facts, right? So now let's jump into some of the factors affecting salaries. And we kind of briefly touched on this earlier on. So some of the factors affecting salaries, experience and education. So what we mean by experience and education, the more cybersecurity is a language, the more proficient you are in the language, the more you have mastery of the language, the more you're able to demonstrate projects that you've worked on. That goes to show your experience. So your experience here that we are talking about has to only be cybersecurity experience. We are talking about your experience as a whole, because experience in cybersecurity, we are looking at your technical experience, your soft skills experience as well, right? A combination of both. Mostly people get it twisted. They are like, yeah, but I'm just getting in the industry. I have no experience. How can I say I have 2, 3, 4 years of experience? That is what they are looking for. Experience is not only technical experience that is being sought after, right? Like I said, that is why you should be able to get from one industry, jump into cybersecurity, have the right type of training, skill sets, and you should be able to still leverage yourself and almost go for a similar role that you were in terms of intermediate level, advanced level within the cybersecurity field as well, right? So experience and education simply either traditional education degrees that you have, you know, or certifications that you have. So other, like, all ranges of certifications will play a role here. Now, there are some jobs that require you to have some specific certifications, right? And those jobs, let me give you an example. For some of the government contractors, as part of their ability to win a contract, they have to have some number of certifications for the employees that they are going to be using for the contract, right? So maybe they have to have 5 people with CISSP, 15 people with Security Plus, 7 people with this, right? And certifications like CISSP and the rest are not easy to get. So if you have that certification and you are okay, they will put you on there, not simply because they think you are the best, but they need your certification to win the contract, or they need your certification to maintain the contract, right? So if you find yourself in that space, then certifications are going to really help. But overall, certifications are good. They are going to give you that competitive edge if you go head to head. But your experience and education counts. That is going to give you some more leverage to negotiate well when it comes to salaries, right? Now, the next factor that affects your salary is your location, right? For the cost of demand in the location that you find yourself will determine how much salaries you can ask for and how much salaries the employers are willing to give, right? So if you live in New York, City, and you are getting paid 100K, and somebody else is living in maybe Columbus, Georgia, they are getting paid 100K. The cost of living in New York City is obviously higher than that of Columbus, Georgia, right? So if that person is getting paid 100, you are getting paid 100. Your 100 is not 100 compared to that person, right? So obviously you should get paid more, maybe 120, 130 for that same role, doing the same thing, even if it's for the same company. Your location is going to determine the salary also as well, right? So where you find yourself, if you're in California, cost of living is high. If they give you 100K, it might not probably cut it. So you can demand more and they will be willing to also pay more, right? Now, industry. So the industry, we looked at some of the industry that are paying higher in the security side. So for industry, the industry that you find yourself will determine how much you're also going to make. But like I said, on average, everybody on here, regardless of these factors, you shouldn't be taking anything below 100K, right? So, but to leverage yourself and to get more, these are what you are going to be using, and these are the factors that are affecting how much you are going to get. So industry, financial services, technology sector, they offer more obviously than others, than like education and nonprofits. And then also skills and certifications. So skills and certifications, specializing in areas like cloud security, which we are going to roll out our cloud security training here very shortly. And compliance, specializing in compliance areas like PCI, HIPAA, and others will also help because you are within a niche, you specialize in a niche. Incident response and other relevant areas will help you to also ask for more. Now, for our PCI DSS course, I was mentioning the salary ranges for our entry level. For our PCI, the salary range, the minimum we've had for our students, 130 is the minimum, maximum 220 plus for one job, right? So everything that we are saying here is not just us saying stuff, but we are living it, right? And our students are a testimony to, everything that is being said here. So if you are sitting back thinking, I mean, in security, they are inflating these figures, it is actually true, right? It is actually true. You'll be able to even make more than 200K per job if you position yourself well. So for the last one, clearance level. So security clearance for government jobs, they require security clearance, top security clearance, and others. Not on the corporate side, you don't need security clearance and any of those. On the government side, you need these clearance. Now, not everybody can get security clearance or top security clearance. So that makes that pool of candidates even smaller, right? So obviously, if a contractor is looking for somebody with top secret clearance and they put the job post out there, people applying, if 100 apply, probably just maybe 5 thereabout will have top security clearance, right? Not everybody in the military has security clearance. You might, when you are joining, you have interim security clearance, but it's based on need to know and based on your job. If your job requires you to have it and they do the background check and you pass, you have it. So that goes to show you that, not to get security clearance is not that easy. And you cannot apply for security clearance on your own as an individual, right? So you have to either be in a government role that requires that and they will do that for you, or you probably in the military and you had that before, right? So security clearance levels will also help boost how much you can also make. So if you're in the military or in the government side and you have clearance now, make sure you maintain your clearance because you can use that as also a leveraging tool, right? So with that, we are going to move into how to bargain for a higher salary or how to, get above, what you probably dreamed of. Now, like I said, when we are looking at the numbers and the figures, you don't have to go in without doing your proper research, right? So you should know your numbers before you get to that level of interview where they ask you how much are you willing to take before you start, fumbling. You should know how much you are willing to take in terms of salary, in terms of per hour, right? You have to break the salary down to per hour. So if they are asking you per hour and they're asking you salary, you know your numbers, right? If you don't know your numbers and they throw something like, oh, we pay you $50 an hour, oh yeah, that is awesome. Now when you calculate it, next it's like 100, it's like 85K, right? So you want to know your numbers well. Now you do your market research to bargain for higher salaries. You have to make sure you do your market research. So there are tools out there, Glassdoor, PayScale, and others. You can use Google to research for this role in this industry. How much is the average? So you get those numbers, you get that range, and then you use that to leverage. So when you get that range, what you do is you always go for the highest, the range, right? So if it's 100 to 130, don't go for 115. Always shoot for the max. And even if they don't want to give you the max, at least they'll reduce it by 5K and you're still going to get as much as possible, right? Now, highlight the relevant experience that you are bringing to the table. So what are you bringing to the table? Like I always say, this is a relationship, right? What are you bringing to the table to make this relationship worthwhile? What your employer is bringing to the table is we are going to give you this amount of money as compensation. For you, what are you also bringing to the table that you think warrants more than they want to give you? Right. So you have to highlight your specialized skills, certifications that you have, projects, keyword here, projects that you've worked on. So if you've never worked on any project in the security space, you just memorize a bunch of test questions, you pass certification, you have a degree in cybersecurity, and you really can't put the pieces together, then you are really going to come short here when it comes to projects that you've worked on, because you cannot leverage that. And if you jump into the internship or the entry-level course, or even for our PCI DSS, that also comes with internship as well, right? So you are going to get projects that you can speak to, right? And those projects should be aligned to what they are looking for in the job that you're applying, to. And also leverage your certifications. So if you have CISSP, CISA, these big certifications, you can also leverage that as well, right? And these certifications, they also come with their own scale of pay grade, right? So if you're holding CISSP, you shouldn't be taking anything below 120. SIM 100, 115, CISA 110. You shouldn't be taking anything below that, right? Now, keyword here is if you have the knowledge and skill to back these up, not because you are smart and you're able to just memorize some test questions and pass it, right? And you are not even sure you have it, but you are not even sure of yourself, right? So you should be able to leverage your certifications as well, and that will all help you to again well and get bigger salaries. So also, you look at the total compensation. So you're not just looking at the salary, you're looking at other benefits, right? So retirement, if they have bonuses, health insurance, and others, you are going to look at all those as well, because they are all part of the compensation, like the compensation package, right? And then also, you should be flexible, right? You should be flexible. So be prepared to walk away if the offer doesn't meet what you're looking for. Like I said, don't be desperate. So not because you are looking for your first cybersecurity gig so bad, they are trying to offer you 70K for a role that you should be paid 130, and you are so desperate you want to take it. If you take it, I'm going to tell you for a fact you're going to regret it. So it is good. Now, if you get to the level where they want to offer you 60, 70K, what you should tell yourself is you have proven yourself that you are good enough for somebody to even, put you on and have you run that role. So that means that, no, I'm not going to take that money. I can get better than that. So you go elsewhere, right? So don't be desperate. If they don't meet what you are looking for, be confident in your skills, be confident in yourself. Don't take it if it's way below what we've discussed so far, right? Now, any questions for the group before we jump into some of the practical experience from our community members? And before we do, our entry-level course, if you are looking to break into cybersecurity, this is the gateway to break into cybersecurity with the knowledge and skill and the experience required to be able to function as a security professional, right? For our PCI DSS training, it is a specialized area of cybersecurity for folks who want to specialize and have that specialized skill to be able to leverage that and to bargain for higher salaries, get into our PCI or payment security program as well. Now, for our internship, we are starting our new cohort tomorrow, 21st, and this is where we pair you with two of our sister companies. You get to work on real-world projects, and it's very intense. 2 months of intensely working on cybersecurity project, 10 cybersecurity projects, right? And for our conference, kindly make sure you are subscribing and making us know you are showing your intent to be able to join. And next week's Cyber Chat, we will be able to announce how far we've come and if we are moving forward to push forward to have our final registration and everything in line for us to move on with this program in October. And our WhatsApp group full, but still you can try to join. And we are going to leave it to our panel, we are going to leave the floor for folks who went through gotten jobs. How did you leverage yourself, your skills? How did you bargain? I know there are a couple of folks on here. If I can see them right, I know Isaac is on here. I'm not sure if it's Isaac is the Isaac that I'm thinking, but we are going to leave it for our Eretmis family. Kindly go ahead, and if you have any questions, you can raise your virtual hand, and we will address that. And for folks who are working in the industry, how did you bargain for your salary? And do you think what you are doing merits what you got for salary? And how did you do the negotiations and bargaining? Tunde, please go ahead.
What I have is a question. Should I wait till the end to ask?
Go ahead. If it's about what we are discussing, then yes. Can we go ahead?
What I want to find out is that if you can just briefly explain the difference between the PCI internship and the regular internship that Eretmis offers.
Okay. So the PCI internship, it focuses on PCI, right? So PCI is a whole world on its own. So as a PCI compliance officer or a compliance manager for your company, you are the one running the PCI program. So there is a lot that you do within the PCI space. So from strategy to doing internal assessment, gap analysis, using prioritization approach. So there is a lot. What you are going to do is focus on how to do your PCI job in the company. Right now, the GRC focuses on 10 major roles, 10 major projects that we are going to work on. So doing audits, working on governance policies and procedures, incident response, working on risk assessment, third-party risk assessment. So we are taking you through a variety of GRC projects and beyond, because incident response and others we added to it, which is a little bit beyond GRC, right? So that is the difference. PCI focuses just on PCI, but the GRC we focus on almost all other areas of security, minus pen testing.
Thank you.
Sola, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, good evening. So I have two questions for you. My first question is, someone who is coming from being an AWS cloud engineer, what success rates would they have? Does this course kind of tally in any way? And secondly, my second question is that I just got to know about you yesterday. I think I have like 5 of my other colleagues on this call as well. So we already started taking the training somewhere. When we're done with the training, is it possible for us to come here and pay for internship, or
Yes.
it has to be just the students only?
No, so you can jump onto the internship once you're done with like the training that you are going through. And then also for you going through or being an AWS engineer, you are in the IT space already and you are doing some security stuff already. So you are above the average person who has no IT background or cybersecurity background trying to get into this. So your success rate will be higher than the average person who is coming into this.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you so much. That answers my question.
You're welcome. Solomon, please go ahead.
So I just really want to ask, after the internship, let's say the PCI, the GRC, my first question is it paid separately? You want to do the GRC or the PCI? Is it paid separately and then my second question is, after the internship, what next? Is it a guaranteed job or are you going to help the person to get a job? Or after the internship, he goes away trying to look for his own job?
So for the PCI internship, you have to be in the PCI program to be able to do the PCI internship, right? We don't have a standalone internship for PCI yet, but for the GRC internship, with whatever background that you have coming in, you can jump into the GRC internship. Now, after the GRC internship, we help with job placement. So we help you, guide you through, setting up your resume, cover letters, LinkedIn setup, and most importantly, job interviews. We do one-on-one prep for any interview that you have to go to, right? And we do that for every single interview till you finally land your cybersecurity role. So we don't just leave you hanging. Now, some people also ask, so like you mentioned, a job guarantee. Am I job guaranteed after this? Nobody can guarantee you a job unless they are the ones giving you the job and paying you. Like even your college that you went to, they couldn't guarantee you a job. You're done, they give you your certificate, your degree, and then that's it. Even that, there's nobody to even contact to, hey, I'm going for an interview, I need help. Nobody's there. But here, we guide you through the whole time and we are here to assist you, literally hold your hand. So we cannot guarantee you the job because we are not the one who's going to pay you. And then also you are going to be the one applying for the jobs. We guide you and show you the right way. We help you through the process. So you apply for the jobs. If you are not applying, then you are not going to get a job, right? So if you are applying, you are following all the steps that we are showing you, you are guaranteed of success, right? It's not going to be on your first try or second try. Sometimes if you are like Sheila and others, your first try might be it, or your second or third, right? But if it's going to take you 5 tries, we are there to guide you through, right? So that is our guarantee. We are going to be there to help you with, mock interviews, interview prep, and guide you through the whole time. But what we can guarantee is you'll be able to do the job when you get it. That we can guarantee with our head on the line, right? All right. So, any insights from our folks who bargained for their roles and the salaries that they got? Is it worth what they are doing now? I'm just going to randomly call on folks that I can see here.
Doug,
Yes,
just
go
a
ahead.
quick question. So with the internship, does each and every internship comes with a different cost or the same cost? And then if it comes with the same cost or different cost, is there any payment plan for it?
Yeah, so the GRC is separate from the PCI internship. The GRC is 3,000. You have payment options on there. If you go to our site, you'll be able to see the payment options. The PCI is separate. You go through the course and then the internship, right? So it is not the same thing. The PCI internship is part of the PCI training. The GRC is a standalone. But if you go through the entry level, it comes with a GRC internship as well. Right.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. So I think I saw Kwame. I'm just going to throw Kwame in there in the mix. Kwame, Mr. Odro, if you can let us know how you bargained for your salary when you were offered a role some, I think 2 years ago. If you can give us some insight, like what did you do? Did you push? I know Sheila got offered a role and then she went back pushing. I was like, it's above 100K, you can wait, but she's like, no, Dr. Edo, I think I can push for more. And she had actually got more. So Kwame, any insights? And then I'm just I'm looking through the list. I'm randomly just going to be picking papers.
So I remember I had no idea. I was just under your belt. You were giving me the guidance. So when that offer came, I was, as you said, I was just willing to take, even if they're going to give me like 80, but you said no. So they brought an offer, but you said we should also ask them why is that it? So I replied the email saying that is that all they want to offer? And then they said they were going to get to the director. So the director had a meeting with me, and then he gave me some assurance that, okay, we want to give you this much money, above 100, but based on your performance and how you go, we're going to give you bonuses, and then other stuff will come. And then I spoke to you, and you said once it's above 100 and going up, that is already okay. But then so I accepted it, and then to be honest, from the experience that I got from your training and all that, like bonuses is like crazy, and the increment yearly is also very, very good. So with the guidance you gave me and all that, I think it helped me out. So that's how that's what happened to me.
Okay, thank you. And I'll go to Mike. I think I can see Mike. Mike, what about you? How did you negotiate yours? And there's a lot of Mikes. I'm referring to Michael Yabwan. So whilst Michael is trying to unmute himself. He probably was caught off guard. Let me look through. I think I saw Isaac. I'm not sure if Isaac is his full name didn't appear. If Isaac is Isaac, I'm thinking about. But Michael, when you are ready, you can
I
give
am the
us some
one, sir.
insights. Oh, okay, go ahead, Ike.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't put my last name. I just put the last initial. Good evening, Dr. Ada. Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm Isaac. I definitely went through Eretmis Academy, and I've been in the industry for 3 years, coming on 3 years now. But I always find time to join the Friday chats because I like them. I really enjoy, being in the background and taking on the information that is coming on. But anyway, about my salary negotiation. So one thing that I went into with is know your worth. There is an old statement: if you don't have a price for yourself, then everyone will buy you at a discount. So you better go in with the figure in mind. Know your worth. If they're offering you way below what you believe, you're not basically you're not being compensated for your value. Don't take it. As Dr. Adu was saying, don't be desperate. So, you need to go in there and highlight your skills, emphasize any relevant experiences, internships, like from Eretmis that you have, any certifications if you have any, all these tie up into your negotiation, and then you need to definitely show your potential by demonstrating how you're eager to grow in the role, by talking about ongoing learning curves going on in your life. If you're in progress of attaining a certain certification, basically show them that your life is dynamic professionally. You're not at a standstill. So they see something in you. You're willing to grow with the company and to grow yourself professionally. And so one thing that I actually did, they offered me, they asked me how much I'm willing to take. And Dr. Adu had actually told me this the day before my interview. He told me, the moment they ask you, don't be the first one to offer a number. They have a budget. HR has a budget set for every department. So they know. Now, it's kind of like a trick question. And I reversed the question and turned it back on the HR personnel who was asking me. I asked her directly, how much is allocated for this particular role? Because I know this role is earmarked a certain budget. And then she laughed it off, and she actually had to disclose and tell me. Then I was like, okay, I'll definitely need more than that. So you need to go in there and be ready to negotiate. Don't throw out a number, because you can short sell yourself by throwing out a low ball, and they'll be like, okay, fine, we'll take you. So yeah, my very first job after graduating from Eretmis, was 100,000, and right now, it's 2 years down the road, it's incrementally gone up. Interestingly, it's gone up. And also one thing, as I conclude, one thing that you need to discuss in the negotiation process are the benefits, and make sure that you have them in writing. HR personnel can promise you the moon and the stars, but make sure that everything that they say, bonuses, everything is put in writing in your offer letter. Do not sign off, do not accept the offer letter if what you discuss with the HR personnel is not in writing, because they will not pay it out. That's my take.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you very much for that insight. And if Michael is ready, we will give Michael the floor before we wrap up. Marcus, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, good evening to everybody. And this is a question that I wanted to know. When you see some flyers all over the internet, sometimes they will talk about no IT background concerning the salary what is it? Variations of salary, as you were discussing. You talk of educational, location, and then your experience. So, sometimes they will see some flyers that no IT background, no degree, something or something. So with all that, so assuming someone does not have an IT background, that the person does not have a degree, but he has certifications, what way can the person also make to meet with someone that have all these criteria? Because sometimes they will think, oh, okay, because we are looking for educational background, your education must be higher than somebody. This role is particular, maybe they limit to masters or maybe for degrees. So anybody who is below, and I realized somebody was on the testimony last Sunday, the person said he was a truck driver or something like that. If that person does not have a degree, so in what way that the person can he compete with somebody who has a degree on IT background way back in Cali? Thank you.
Great, thank you. So the competition that you're talking about is not based on your resume and what you say you have and what you don't have. It's based on the interview. Now, during the interview, that is where you are going to demonstrate what you've done and what you are bringing to the table. So you can have a degree in cybersecurity, master's in cybersecurity, a PhD in cybersecurity, and have all the certifications in the world. If you go to an interview and you can't identify your left from your other left, you are not going to get a job. So if you are given a chance to interview, it means they've seen something. They've seen a potential, right? So it's during the interview. If I'm coming from a non-IT background, you have all the IT background in the world, but during the interview, I'm able to prove that I've worked on all these projects. I'm able to do this. They're asking me questions. I'm answering exactly how it's supposed to be, and they can see, or like they can, discern that, yes, this person knows what they are talking about. If you cannot defend yourself in that way during interviews, that is going to be the differentiator, right? So if they are just looking at your certifications and your degrees, then they won't interview anyone. They'll just look at what you present to them and they'll just take you. But they're still going to give everybody the chance. That is why for folks, folks on Kwame was a truck driver. Kwame has a degree, but is not in IT, right? We have Michael was from the health side. We have people who were nurses, but they are able to leverage, and they didn't put on there that they have degrees in IT. They put the degrees that they have in health and other areas, but they were still called for an interview. They did the interview, and I bet you there were people with more certifications than them, people with, the status code IT background, but they were not picked because during interviews, they couldn't demonstrate they've done anything relevant and they were progressively doing anything that was going to help them function effectively in that position, right? So if you are prepared, that is why we help prepare you for interviews and prepare you for the job placement side as well, because you have to present yourself as a package. Everything that you've done in your professional, educational side, whether IT, non-IT, if you package it well, it is still going to be relevant to what you are looking for, to what they are looking for, right? So it is up to you to highlight everything that you've done. So, for example, you've been a nurse for 15 years, and I think I saw George come in, George Hour. George was a traveling nurse for 10 years. Now, George has been a cybersecurity professional for the past 2 years, still working, moving into different roles in cybersecurity, right? Now, you might say, but George didn't have anything coming in. But as a nurse, what you don't know, or what most people, their mind don't go onto is, as a nurse, you are doing a lot of things that are also cybersecurity related. You have a lot of soft skills that are cybersecurity related. So if you are building a resume, you don't have to highlight your technical nursing stuff. It is irrelevant to cybersecurity. Your non-technical nursing stuff or things that are relevant to cybersecurity is what you put on there. So as a nurse, you're also a HIPAA compliance officer. What do you do as a HIPAA compliance officer? Right? You leverage those rather than just, I'm a nurse, I was taking blood pressure, I was checking this, I was giving injections. That is not relevant to a cybersecurity role. but you are doing so many other things that were relevant to cybersecurity role. So it is up to you or whoever is helping you to be able to highlight these things that is going to be relevant to, the role that you're applying for, right? So that is how you go about this, Marcus. So that is why for us, for our job placement, we do one-on-one. So we discuss your background, and see how we'll be able to structure it and make it relevant to the role that you're going to be applying for, right? So hopefully that helps.
No, can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Wow. I know this is not planned. This is just happens to be in this on this platform today. But what I would say from my experience is that there are people who have 4-year degree, they have gone to college and all that. But the difference is that there's a trick to what information Dr. Lu is giving as compared to what the 4-year university is also giving. So you can have your bachelor's, you can have all the certification, but if you don't have the secret that Dr. Lu has and what he's showing to you as to what they are looking for and how to answer to those questions, and on the job, how you have to tackle them, you can have your bachelor's, PhD, but you might not be able to answer these questions. So from my experience, initially, I was talking, Eliana. Initially, I was just talking anyhow because I thought I could speak my way out. Until I realized that there's something that Dr. Lu has that I need to pay attention and take hold of that. And once I got that attention and I started listening to him and learning the material, the basis, you go to an interview and they ask you the question and then it's like it flows. Something just comes into your mind. Oh, this is what they're talking about. And you are able to speak to it, not giving direct answer as to what we used to do in Africa, definition of this or that, no. But then Dr. Lu gives you the broad knowledge as to how you'll be able to speak to whatever they ask you. And that is the secret that is helping us over here. I know my current job that I'm doing, I met my IT team, and then we were talking. They were telling me that the previous guy who was there that I came and I took his place was there for 2 years. But the job that I did within 3 months is more than what he did for 2 years because he didn't know what he was doing. He has no idea anything, like he has to consult somebody. And that is so from there, that's the difference that I got to know, like, okay, you can be on the job. But if you don't have somebody like Dr. Lu to tell you what to do,
I think Kwame was coming in, bro.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing on the job, and the secret is what Dr. Lu is giving us. So please pay attention, no matter what your certification, everything. If he says this interview, this is the approach that we are taking, take time and listen and learn. You go and 85% to 90% of those that he will tell you will be available. So I think that's the secret. It's not about anything. That's from my experience, that is the secret. That just listen to what doctor is saying and go by what he's saying. I promise you will get there. Thank you.
Hopefully that helps with Marcus. Now, Jamal, please go ahead.
Yes, Dr. Du. I had a question. When they're talking about the increments on the salary, and you can answer too, Dr. Du, if you have a suggestion, what percentage of increments should you ask for? So, at the end of the first year, what should you ask for? Or increment 2.5%, 5% raise, on an annual basis, set up, to go in automatically, or what would, and also what would be considered a good bonus range if they're offering to you? Because if it's your first time, you don't know what the expectations are. So I'm trying to gauge and see if they offer it, if the bonuses or the percentage increments are, in the right range for us.
Okay. So for like once you are on, now before you sign your 10K plus, 10K plus a year, right? Now, whilst you are in, what I encourage you to do is keep track of projects that you are working on, right? So projects that you are working on, make sure it is visible to your immediate supervisor or your manager or your director, right? You discuss these are the milestones and these are the projects that you want to work on, and what you are bringing outside what they have on, like what they have going on, right? So you work with them on that. So we've done this, I've done that. Now that is what you're going to use to the year, right? They are there, you are working, you are, helping. They know you are doing a great job, but you are the only one who can keep track of what you are doing. So if you keep track of all the major projects you are working on and how you help the company to save on this, how you help the company to secure this, that gives you some leverage to really, go in and say, hey, I was able to help do A, B, C, D. So I think, a raise of maybe 15K wouldn't be bad, right? And you can do that that way, right? But you cannot just quantity or quality what you've done to bring the company from where they are to where they are currently are, right? Where they used to be to where they are currently are. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, it helped a lot. I'll keep a running log. I get it exactly. You keep a running log of your accomplishments. So when it comes to that time, you have it all laid out, and they can plainly see the value that you brought to the company. And if it's justified,
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. So we are wrapping up for tonight. I appreciate everybody's time. Have a great weekend. And if there are any questions, we put the contact and everything in the chat, so you can get everything in the chat as well. We appreciate everybody's time. Have a great weekend, and we are going to meet next week for another edition of Cyber Chat. Have a great and wonderful weekend, everyone.
You too, Doctor.
I have a question. Doc. Oh,
Yellow, if you can get offline, just shoot a test and we'll talk offline.
Oh, offline. Okay.